guys, welcome back to Clockwork and Noodles for another breakdown of Spy X Family, episode number 9. Very excited, do love this series. Very interesting episode. Starting to get a lot more of dark vibes going on. Obviously, the world we're dealing with is dark. A lot of this plot is very, very colourful, and the fact that it's seen from a child's eyes, easy to forget there's a darker plot going on. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We're aiming for 1k of subscribers by the end of the year, so we can do more interactive stuff. If you're not already subscribed, please join the Noodle Bowl, become one of us, and we can start doing bigger and cooler things. Let's start talking about the episode. So the first half, back to the kiss, but the kiss doesn't occur. She says she can't do it sober. I could definitely do it sober. If you don't want the answer, don't ask. Yuri realizing he just doesn't want to see Yor kissing another man. A bit too late for that. You should probably have thought that. But it is very interesting that Yuri at no point ever suspects Yor, despite the fact that she's really, really strong. She has the skill to literally send a fork flying directly at his face. In the flashback with Yuri, I did wonder if he aged Yor up a little bit too much. He might have done this on purpose because it is his memory and he's seeing Yor as a more grown-up role looking after him. Perhaps that's why she's aged up. But I definitely don't think the age gap between them is that big. In that whole flashback, it seemed like she was more his mother, take on a bit more mothering role to her younger brother. Very interesting to see that age up, wondering if it perhaps wasn't a mistake and more done on purpose. She sends him spiraling into a wall twice, one punch. I think Saitama needs to give Yor a call because these two would really hit it off, literally. Somebody called the poor man a paramedic. He's literally leaking blood all over the place. A family event ending in blood, that does seem to be the norm in anime. If anything, maybe this is a very tame family event. We know what anime is like. I mean, there's no fire. No one died. Nobody's on fire. I think we can count this as a win. But it is a very strange sibling relationship. Anime, that's the bottom line there. But Yuri didn't meet Anya, so we still got this meeting to go at some point, hopefully. He did threaten to execute Loid. Good results all round. I mean, this is good, right? Yuri's just bleeding in the streets. Yor is now embarrassed and they probably wrecked their wall. Loid's alive. Win-win, guys. I think we could take it as a win. I can really relate to the sleepy Anya. It's impressive that she was able to sleep through an entire fight. Doesn't recall who Yuri is immediately. I love that. Brain isn't in gear. And she doesn't really understand who it is until she reads Loid's mind. And then suddenly, why didn't you introduce me to him? Depriving me of all this excitement. Love the moment when she doesn't understand what the secret police is. There is a limit to her brain, and obviously her understanding of the world is limited. She doesn't know who the secret police are because the secret police are secret. They're not really supposed to be a thing. So her not knowing is conducive to the world that we're in, but at the same time, it's showing you the limit to the young brain as well. Darker moment that Loid starts to turn his suspicions upon Yor for the first time. I'm still expecting there to be conflict between these two. Rightfully so, it is his job to be suspicious. He's supposed to be suspicious, just like Becca when she watches Summertime Render. You have to be suspicious of everybody, especially when the fate of the entire world rests on your shoulders. I feel bad about the entire event, and it does make me want to go, Loid, why? But I understand. This isn't a normal situation with a husband and a wife. They are still pretending. I get it. And you're being troubled by the two. Really, really sad. She can read Loid's thoughts. It must be a bit heartbreaking because she can read both people's thoughts. As we state that, she is the audience. She can see both sides. She can read Yor's mind. She can sense that she's getting really upset. She can read Loid's mind, but she can't say anything. And that is the limit to Anya. Anya is a character who has all the information, but she can't just come out and say it because we would simply play it off as a child's fantasies, even though Loid might think it is a bit crazy that she's spewing out that he's a spy and he actually is a spy. Maybe the same with Yor. She is limited by what she can say. I think this works as a character like Anya, who could be really OP if not treated correctly. So the anime treats her in a way that she has all the information, but she can't say it, so she's not too OP as a character. Which I also think works in the fact that you could play all of this entire anime off as simply a child's fantasy, a story that Anya has been told or Anya is telling to the audience. This could all be in Anya's brain if we really wanted to go down that very meta route. The misunderstanding causes Yor to start reflecting upon all of her failings, and I really do feel for Yor this week because she must be feeling pretty bad. Can't cook. Loid is more and more distant. Obviously, we know why he's distant. He's pulling back at the moment because he doesn't quite trust her and he needs to work out if she's trustworthy. It must come across as suddenly the person you're with, your husband, is pulling away. He doesn't really want to spend any time for you. So your brain's going to go into overthink mode, and that's quite sad because I think even though she has got this assassin business going on, she is trying to do her best and she really does care for her little family, even though it's pretend. Listening device. This is definitely that moment where we cross a line, gets very serious. He feels bad about it. He at one point doesn't want to, but he does feel really bad about putting it on her, and at the end he does feel really bad. It's a really sad mood this week, and you're also being the one to call out the bad atmosphere as well. Children really do pick up on bad atmospheres. It's probably the most truest statement of the entire episode. If Yuri knew Yor was crying this episode, the end credits would roll. There would be no more anime. There wouldn't be a second call. I think Loid would be dead. Yuri might have wiped himself out, but anyone making Yor cry is just dead meat. I do wonder if at any point that the state makes her cry, Yuri might actually turn his back on the secret services because his world is Yor. Even him just going, if he's a spy, I can throw him into a cell, joking, some suspicion in the commanding officer. And that is terrifying. Shows you what kind of world you're in. Him just saying it without thinking could lead to Loid being arrested. Yuri's going to have to understand as well that that's bad for Yor and he's going to upset Yor. So he would be the one upsetting Yor. If Yuri upsets Yor, does he have to kill himself? Debate that one. Let's go into perhaps the most saddest scene or the most uncomfortable scene of Loid scaring poor Yor. You went too far, but I understand why you're doing it. But you went too far, Loid. Loid's going to be in the doghouse this week, I think. I understand it is for the good of the mission. It's really scary though, because this is the reality that the public have to live in. This is all real. This is all stuff that we're seeing in the anime. People are getting arrested in the office and poor Yor panicking at that moment. She must know that people are being arrested without actual reasoning and people are vanishing and not coming back. She must be thinking that this is it, I'm going to get arrested. And she does at the end say it would mean that she's even more of a failure as a wife and it would bring bad shame on them. But even one mistake could have you arrested and locked away for quite a long time. They do state that there's torture and perhaps they are alluding that people are dying. Frankie's arm, I am surprised that he has his arm by the end of it because she literally pulls it out of its socket. Yor's reaction to protect her own family despite state's police. That is admirable. I will protect them despite even being a Jew, which is really nice. Anybody would threaten your family, she's actually going to stand up for them. I like that. Maybe means that Yor isn't going to be a lost cause when it comes to the fact world peace might threaten her family, or I'm worried because I know that they're going to pitch the two against each other at some point because it's going to look like Twilight is the enemy of the state. But I think with Yor understanding Loid and hopefully at some point she might sense, and I know that he's my husband and he's a good person and I want to protect this. It means there's light at the end of the tunnel the way that she's acting, so I'm very happy about that. Now Loid's talk about pulling women whilst deceiving them, so ironic. Loid, you must realise how contradictory that entire statement is. I love Frankie. I really do enjoy Frankie. I enjoy seeing him. He's such a nice support character. Him being really upset by losing his hot guy face. Okay, Frankie, you're gonna find somebody. I believe that Frankie will find somebody at the end of the day, but the hot guy face did look really pretty decent on him. Loid looked absolutely terrifying as that guy. I do wonder if they've chosen those particular faces on purpose, and they also dropped a face. Hope they pick it up. You left it on the floor. They're gonna start suspecting the people in the office. It's weird that they knew exactly what the faces of the secret police members actually looked like. Loid feeling something upsetting and worrying for Yor. He feels bad about even having to suspect her. We end up with quite a nice sequence where he starts to talk about society and its norms and the fact that you should just be you. You shouldn't really be trying to do things because other people expect it of you. You should just be trying to do yourself, making yourself happy. I think honestly generally gives her some words that you are you. Yor is Yor, and I'm happy with the fact that you are yourself. Instead of you worrying about being the perfect wife, you are just Yor, and that is what makes you special. That is what matters at the end of the day. A really nice little wrap up at the end of it. At least Loid for now can rest a little bit easier. He is really lucky that he didn't pick up on any conversations about her assassin work though. So he is still none the wiser to her secret, but it's just very lucky that she didn't get a phone call from the other guy going, hey, I've got a mission for you. And you're picking up on the happier atmosphere is a great end and a great wrap up to this sequence. Very curious to see what's going to happen when she finally meets Yuri, because he could treat her weirdly because that's not Yor's daughter. I do wonder if he's going to struggle to have any bond with his niece, the fact that she's not related by blood. But I hope he's actually a decent guy and they actually get on quite nicely. I'd like to see that relationship, and hopefully we can see how the relationship between Yuri, Loid and Yor starts to develop. It's a very interesting episode. We are having these darker moments, reminding you that the world we're in is pretty dark. People are killing people by false accusations if they're making the wrong accusation, because these secret police don't seem to be messing around. Even if they don't have any information on somebody, I can imagine they're absolutely fine with offing them, because at the end of the day, you can just simply spin it as treason, even if you don't have the evidence, because nobody's going to go up against you. Nobody's going to speak out. Your speaking out against them must be a rarity. And if that had happened to real police, she would probably be dead. If she gives her surname and it is the real police, they would know that Yuri is there, so they probably wouldn't do anything to her. They probably let her off the hook, because I think Yuri would go absolutely bananas if they brought her in for questioning. Interesting episode. Can't wait to see where we're going next. I think we're returning back to the Damien situation and going back to school. Probably a good thing after having a slightly heavier episode. Anime goes on a bit of a hiatus until we get a second core. I don't know when the second core is. I have a feeling it's probably going to be winter. I haven't actually checked that far ahead. I just know what's coming up in summer. At some point, I'm going to give you a summer breakdown of all the anime coming your way. I already know what I'm breaking down. A lot of the stuff I'm breaking down is sequels. Apologies there, but we will talk about that when we get to that video. We're going to have a wrap up at some point as well. Yes, they are now 2 separate videos, one for each season. We're going to tackle each season as we go along. That is just showing you the channel slowly evolving. Once upon a time, it was one huge long episode. Now it's going to be 2 slightly shorter episodes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great weekend. Have a good day, guys. Bye bye.